Welcome, everybody, and it's certainly an exciting announcement. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize and take a moment to just acknowledge what's happening in the country today and the hardship that's there, and reaffirm our commitment as a city that we're going to continue to do everything that we can to improve as a city and create a model inclusive city for everybody. And I think today speaks to that. We've been working on this for several years in conjunction with the community, and today's an exciting step forward, one that many people thought we wouldn't achieve. And today is the most important step we've taken yet on this 100-acre property here. I would also just like to highlight that there aren't properties like this in cities across the country, especially densely populated cities like Jersey City. You don't have 100-acre properties that are blank canvases and the city can do literally anything that they want with it. And this was a special project because it became a development site because of community activism 30 years ago when a group of community leaders got together. They sued for an environmental cleanup and what was right, and that paved the road for where we are today. I would also say that a couple years ago, the city, in conjunction with Jersey City Together and our council people, took a very, very bold step in saying that the 5% on-site affordable housing that was committed to this site over here was not acceptable and not where we wanted to be as a city. And so we had conversations with Honeywell and internal conversations, and we committed more than $100 million of taxpayer money to purchase this land with a commitment that we would look to achieve 35% affordable housing. 35% affordable housing that was truly affordable, that was affordable to everybody with a healthy mix of 40% and 60% and 80% AMI. And that was a goal that people didn't think we could achieve. And then we put together a committee led by two of the council people who are standing behind me, and you'll hear from them shortly. And they went through 2 years of meetings and interviews and RFPs and working in conjunction with our planning and JCRA to try and find developers that would be partners in this in order to fulfill the vision that we had as a city. We didn't know if it would work when we started, but we thought that a city like Jersey City needed to be bold and aggressive and speak to affordable housing in a way that's just more than words, actually with our actions reinforcing those words. And so after a long process, we're very, very proud about the partners that we are selecting to move forward on the first two phases of, or the first phase and the first two projects and 4 parcels within Bayfront. And you're going to hear from them shortly as well. So without further ado, I want to bring up the councilwoman for Ward A. This property straddles Ward A and Ward B. It's going to have a huge impact on the west side of Jersey City. It's going to change Jersey City for decades and decades to come. And we're excited about being at the forefront of that change. I'm going to invite up now Councilwoman Denise Ridley. This wouldn't have happened without her leadership and Councilwoman Mira Prince Airy, and it's important that they both have an opportunity to speak. So Denise Ridley.
Good morning. First, I'd like to thank the mayor because when we first started to talk about this project, there were a lot of different concerns, as he mentioned. There were, people who believed that the city could pull this off. There were people who didn't believe that the city could pull this off, and we had to balance the two. And I just want to say publicly thank you to the mayor because at that time, and still currently, I'm a first-term council person, right? I was there for only a few months, and I really asked him to make sure that I'm heavily involved in this project because it's in my ward, and I want to make sure that we do this right for the residents in Ward A and Jersey City overall. And he really stepped out on a limb and took a step back and allowed me to do that. And every time someone came to me and they said something about Bayfront, they said, hey, I went to the mayor and I asked him this and he told me I have to talk to you. The mayor said, hey, come and see what Denise thinks. So I really appreciate that, Mayor. Thank you for that. And thank you for having faith in a first-time council person and allowing her to oversee 100 acres worth of land. So I also want to thank my council colleague, Councilwoman Prinzeri, who shares this plot of land with me. It is good to have someone that is willing to support what is going on the border of your wards, and she is an excellent ward neighbor. And any project that happens near the border of Wards A and Ward B, we work on together. And that's important because working on things together in collaboration is very important, and you don't get that all the time. So I thank you, Councilwoman, for being such a great leader and for helping us through this process. To my Bayfront Advisory Board, some of our members are here today. I really thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to meet, to go and to look at these projects, to give us your input, to get input from the community, to make sure that we were doing things properly. There were tons of questions. You asked great questions. We looked at tons of material, and you gave up your time every month to make sure that that was done, and this would not have been possible without the Bayfront Advisory Board. So thank you all, and thank you for allowing me to be chairwoman of that board and lead you through that process. To the JCRA, Diana, Chris, everyone at JCRA, thank you so much. You always gave us all the information that we needed to help guide us through. So, when we started on this journey, there were 3 things that I asked for. I asked that we start the Bayfront Advisory Board with members of the community on the board to see this project through. We did that. I asked that we get shovels in the ground as soon as possible, because this land has been sitting dormant for so long, and we are well on our way to that. And I also asked that we made sure that Bayfront was inclusive, not only on affordability level, but also in diversity, and making sure that we can include some minority developers, minority contractors, and just to make sure that the diversity that goes on at Bayfront reflects the diversity of the city. Here in Jersey City, we pride ourselves on being the most diverse city in the country. And if we're going to do that, then we have to make sure that we are diverse across the board. And that was a very important topic for us on the board and in Jersey City in general. So the Bayfront Committee went to different sites. We looked at the buildings that these developers that we are presenting today, things that they've built. We went to New York to look at a development that BRP did, and the work blew us away. They have a building that they showed us that they were building that is literally right next to the railroad. Literally. So there were so many different things that they had to do to make sure that the foundation was correct, to make sure that, they weren't interfering with what was going on with the transit system. That takes very skilled developers. So we knew right away that we were dealing with the cream of the crop. Then we went down to New Brunswick and we looked at the project that Omni Penrose was presenting, and that took our breath away as well. That was fully finished, and we looked through the whole building, looked at the amenities. They had details even down to the smell of the building and the filtering of the air through the system. So these are things that are very important to pay attention to details. So these 2 developers today are really the cream of the crop. So there's something else that came to my attention today, and I just want to say this publicly. There apparently was an article that stated that this is another big development for Jersey City to attract New Yorkers. And I just want to be very clear about something. As a native Jersey City resident, it is very important to me that Bayfront is reflective of Jersey City, that it represents the residents that are here, that the residents that are here have the opportunity to live here. That is part of the reason why we stress the affordability. We do not want to move our residents out. We want them to be included. We want to make sure that the residents that work here and residents that are here that are union labor have jobs that are right here in Jersey City. So I think that it's very fitting, especially in the climate that we're in today in this country, and with all that is going on, and with all of this talk about discrimination, that we take every step that we can to make sure that in the most diverse city, that diversity is staying here. We're not moving people in from other places. Of course, we will welcome anyone who wants to live here at Bayfront. But while I am here as the Councilwoman of Ward A, as the Chairwoman of the Bayfront Advisory Board, and as Commissioner of JCRA, I am going to do everything under my power to make sure that Jersey City is represented here at Bayfront, that diversity is represented here at Bayfront, and that we all have a place that we can call home here at Bayfront. So thank you very much.
And I want to invite up our Ward B Councilwoman, Mira Prince Airy, who also sat on that committee, selecting developers, visiting development sites, charting the course for this. Mira.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say this is what really great teamwork and really great leadership looks like. Councilwoman Ridley, you've done an outstanding job chairing this committee and moving this project forward, and it's been an honor to work with you on this. It's very rare that you have a council colleague that you can come to discuss all manner of concerns, and Councilwoman Ridley and I, both first-term council people, when we came in, we started having conversations about Bayfront and about what projects in our ward are going to look like and what was important to us. And some of the recurring themes were the fact that, you know, it's very difficult for people who are just starting out, who are maybe just graduating from college. They can't necessarily stay in Jersey City in an affordable way. For seniors who maybe want to divest and downsize, they can't necessarily stay in Jersey City in an affordable way. And this project gives us an opportunity to provide that for all of our residents. And I think that that's what makes us so strong and so great as a city. Now, to the JCRA, to Jersey City Together, to the mayor, to the Bayfront Committee, kudos, fantastic work. To the developers on this project, I'm very much looking forward to working with you, and I cannot wait to see what this is going to look like a few years from now.
I want to invite up our Executive Director of the JCRA, Diana Jeffrey.
So, as everyone has mentioned, this is really a story about teamwork and leadership and environmental justice. You know, this could have turned out a lot differently. When we were working on this project a few years ago and it was coming time to go out to market, when we were still partnered with Honeywell, the redevelopment plan only called for 5% on-site affordable housing, but the mayor, in his leadership, determined that that was not sufficient, that that was not good enough. And we tried to make it work, and we all came to the realization it could not work unless the city took on the project themselves. And without hesitating, the mayor said, he could have thrown up his hands and said, oh well, it can't be done, oh, we tried, but he didn't. He said, no, that's not good enough, we're going to do it. He rallied the council in their foresight signed on to it as well, and here we are. And this couldn't have been done, first, without great leadership, but second, without great teamwork. So I want to thank first and foremost Chris Fiore, who everyone knows this would not have gone as far as it did without him. He is amazing. He's an amazing coworker. He's just the best at this. He's the brains behind the operation. The project managers, Mary Pat Noonan and Danny Nazario. Oh, there's Danny way in the back. Of course, Anicia Cialoni, the head of HEDC, and Tanya Marione, planning, as well as her colleagues Mallory Clark and Liz Opper from planning. The mayor also had great foresight to appoint two tremendous councilwomen to head this project, Denise Ridley and Mira Prinzari, and I also have the pleasure of having Councilwoman Ridley as my commissioner. They exercised patient, steadfast, strong leadership, smart, intelligent, and they kept me laughing the whole time because there's a lot of frustrations in this work, but we would always laugh about it, so thank you for that. We had some tremendous consultants too that we couldn't have done this without. Glenn Stock, Eric Fang from Perkins Eastman, Joe Bauman from McManaman in Scotland with his colleagues Bhavani Doshi and Shoshana Schiff. Of course, Joe Cunha, you are amazing to work with from the MUA. He's also been a partner with us in this. Couldn't do it without him. CME, our head engineer, TNM, who's also heading up the infrastructure work. And last but not least, the advisory committee. So I have to admit that at first we were wondering how this marriage was going to work out. But you guys were fantastic. You asked the best questions, incisive, thoughtful, smart. You absolutely knew what you were talking about, each and every one of you. And that was Jeff Kaplowitz, Charlene Burke, Ed Folks, and Uche, where's Uche? Akba, he's here somewhere, from Jersey Together. Oh, there you are. So, and you really helped steer the project. It turned out to be really great. Much to maybe both of our surprises. So thank you very much. Again, that was another great idea that the mayor had putting that together. So thank you. We're very excited about this. It's going to be great moving forward, I have no doubt. And I look forward to working with our new developers.
So I'm going to want to bring up the developers to say a couple words. I do want to speak briefly about the economics of this. So the city spent $100 million to acquire approximately 100 acres, and we had a commitment, regardless of whether we acquired it or not, to spend approximately $70 million to build infrastructure here. That means the sewers, that means the roads, that means a lot of park space here, and it's a substantial commitment and investment. We had the goal of increasing the affordable component from 5% to 35%. We thought that was ambitious, and today's designation speaks to the fact that we will achieve that 35%. We also wanted it to be truly affordable, and so it has a healthy blend of affordability components in it to make sure that everybody can actually live here. It was also important to us to make sure that this was going to be built with union labor. And we put that into the specs as well, and we're happy that we were able to achieve this. Denise mentioned earlier that we wanted to make sure that it also reflected the diversity of Jersey City. We're happy that we were able to achieve that as well. So when you look through it, it really is a success story on every front. What we are selling today is essentially 16% of the overall 100-acre site. And we're selling it today for $26 million is what the commitment is. So that also speaks to the fact that as this area builds out and the later phases become much more desirable, not only did we increase affordability, and not only are we building a great site, but the taxpayers will also benefit financially from this over the long term. So it really is a win on multiple fronts for Jersey City, and we couldn't be more excited about it. So I'm going to bring up the developers that we're looking forward to partner with if they want to say a couple words. So first, we're going to bring up Gene Schnurr, who's the Managing Director of the Omni America.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gene Schnurr, and I'm the Managing Director of Omni America. We at Omni are looking forward to working with our partners at Penrose and also with BRP, who are going to be our neighbors on the site, and we're looking forward to working together on this really transformative project. On the Omni Penrose portion of the project, we are going to build 540 units of housing. 35%, 189 units are going to be affordable housing. As the mayor said, this is going to be truly affordable housing, below 60% of the area median income, so that the current residents of Jersey City have an opportunity to live here and stay here, in the manners that the council members spoke about. The affordable units are going to be fully integrated into the complex. It's going to be the same type of finishes, same high standards, so there's going to be no differentiation between the affordable units and the market units. We're also going to have a community facility as part of our complex, and it's going to have a tech center that's going to provide education for kids and for adults. We're going to have a daycare center, and we're going to have a credit union. These buildings and the site is also going to provide ample indoor and outdoor space for a wide range of resident activities, both educational activity, passive activity, but also active activity. And we to make this all happen, as developers, we can only make this happen by working with our local partners. And obviously, first and foremost, we look forward to working with the mayor and everybody on his staff and all the agencies that that support the mayor. We look forward to working with Council Member Ridley, with Council Member Mira Prince Aries, with Council Member Danielle Rivera. We've already, have had interaction and are looking forward to working more with JCRA and Chris Fiore and all his staff. Thank you. You guys have been great. The Bayfront Community Advisory Committee. Again, this is all part of a process, and I think it's important. And these type of projects are only successful when you have the feedback and the collaboration of everybody. There's a lot of stakeholders involved. There's a lot of neighbors involved. And to have a project that's really going to work and going to work in the long term, it's important that everybody has a voice and everybody makes this happen. And I think it's been, very clear here that the way the mayor and the council people have put this together, it's, has given a voice to the community, and we think this is going to be, a really good project. And we're looking forward to, collaborating, working with all our neighbors. And look, we want to thank everybody for welcoming us to Jersey City, and look, also wishing everybody to stay healthy and to stay safe during these difficult times. And we look forward to, making this plan a reality. Thank you very much.
I want to invite up Jacob Fisher, who's the Regional Vice President for Penrose, one of the largest affordable housing builders in the country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Thanks, Gene. On behalf of Penrose and its owners, Mark Dambley, Rich Barnhart, Tim Henkel, we are very proud to partner with Omni and partner with the City of Jersey City, the JCRA, to bring forth this exciting new development. What we're talking about here is really not just a development, but it is the creation of a new neighborhood, almost a new city within the city. So it is a bold vision. We're happy to have the opportunity to execute. In executing this vision, we're committed to doing this the right way, taking into account public input. This process has already started. We've had a chance to meet with the Bayfront Advisory Group. We anticipate that we will be doing that again throughout the process, and having transparency and public meetings so that it is clear what we are doing. We are committed to creating an inclusive community where market rate units and affordable units will exist side by side, and the residents of those units will come together through community amenities and through active open space. We're committed to providing community amenities such as the daycare and technology training and credit union that will help to facilitate everybody's opportunity within the community. And then, further on the subject of opportunity, we are committed to working with the city to meet participation goals for contracting and to meet hiring goals for local Jersey City residents, so that there are real economic opportunities that come as part of this development effort. And it's no secret that we are going through some troubled times as a country right now, and there's a lot of work to do to realize the promise of what we can be as a nation. And I believe that standing right here on this spot together with everybody is an act of optimism that states what we can do when we come together to build something great. So we really appreciate and thank you for the opportunity, and look forward to getting to work. Thank you.
And our final developer, Meredith Marshall, co-founder and managing director of BRP Development Partners. Thank you, Meredith.
Thank you, Mayor. Philip. I'm Meredith Marshall, Managing Director and co-founder of BRP Companies. We're a fully integrated real estate investment and development firm based in New York. However, you can check my license. I am a resident of New Jersey. And so is Lauren and half of my team. We're truly a tri-state diverse group. We're one of the largest affordable developers in New York City by sheer number in the country. We build mixed income affordable developments throughout the East Coast, from Baltimore, Newark, and now I'm so glad to be back in Jersey City. I had a girlfriend who would remain nameless, who lived near Grove Street. So 25 years ago, when you had Pershing, I was a resident here part-time. And Jersey City has come a long way since then. You all have done a fantastic job in developing the city. And you don't get everything right. And we spoke to the mayor and he said, we have to get this right. We love affordability. We love building inclusive, transformative developments. And in fact, 35% is great for us. I mean, we have developments that you've mentioned in New York that are 100% affordable up to, high levels, 165 of AMI, but a lot of it's 30, 40, 80% of AMI, truly affordable. And it looks like a luxury development. We don't pull any punches. And I spoke to the building trades here. That job is open shop, but we have all the major trades. The union, Local 79 is there. And you question me who the plumber is. It's Aspro, a union plumber. So he's in your local union. And my father was a union member. So we love labor, but it has to be inclusive. And this country is still the greatest country in the world. We have some things going on now that we're not proud of, but that's part of the development process. It's a young country. We're learning to live together, but I think they're growing pains. And I have 3 teenagers, and they're explaining to me what's going on because, I'm a dinosaur, they tell me. Way too conservative. I'm wearing a tie today. Why are you wearing a tie? The mirror is casual, but we have to do things a certain way, right? And, we are making progress. I think, we have some dark days ahead, but it will get better. We'll learn to love each other, and it's important that we're inclusive. In case in point, I have people in my family that are Baptist, Muslim, but when I moved to Bergen County, I sent my kids to the JCC because the person that sold me my house said, go to the JCC, it's good to know the neighbors, and it was the greatest thing we did. We got to learn and love our neighbors. Our kids travel together, they sleep over, and that's a wonderful thing. I'm not Catholic. I'm a trustee of Xavier University of New Orleans. It's a Catholic institution, historically black institution, but it's a Catholic institution. I'm not Catholic, but I'm there because we have to work together in this country. This country is a whole bunch of different people striving for the same thing. We all want the same thing. And with that, I can talk about the development. It'll be a fantastic development. You chose the best-in-class developers. I've always admired Penrose and Omni, but you saved the best for last with BRP. All right, they're billing 540, we're billing 552. Rounding error, Gene. Don't get me on that. Don't tell our friends across the way. But this will be transformative. And I have to say again, kudos to everyone here, the mayor, the JCRA, all the council people. I'm not gonna name everyone because you've done that, and I understand some people want to leave here and get back to social distancing. I think I fist bumped a couple people. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that, but I can say this: this will be a great transformative transaction. The buildings will represent everyone. We will exceed the MWBE goals because we're an MWBE and that's part of our DNA. And in fact, this is probably one of our most important developments because this is truly, it was a brownfield, but it's a greenfield. There's nothing here. And we're normally building with neighbors suing us, and you saw the development we're building. We're building a development that we're 18 inches from the Long Island Railroad and 5 feet from the E train in New York City. And if we move that subway tunnel a quarter of an inch, we'd be in trouble. And we didn't do that. But we don't have that here. So we can make mistakes and still get it right. So with that, I would say thank you to all the people who helped. Chris Fiore, you were great. And I have to say, this was not a shotgun decision. Chris came to our office a few years ago to look at us and due diligence. And the team came the coldest day of the year. They came to our building in Jamaica, Queens, right, to make sure that was our building. I don't know if you believed it, but you believed it now. You believe it now. And, and predictability means something. You all delivered. You said, look, we'll make this decision. And typically we deal with a lot of cities on the East Coast. When they said they'll make a decision in this year, we hope to get the decade right. You all got the quarter right. And kudos to you. That's a round of applause. And with that, Stay healthy, stay safe, and we look forward to doing great things with the great city of Jersey City. Thank you.
Thanks, Meredith. That was great. Okay, two more quick. I want to invite up Pat Kelleher from the Hudson County Building Trades, who is going to be a partner here. A lot of the progress in Jersey City has happened because of his people, and I just want to specifically say over the last 5 years, the Hudson County Building Trades has been really diligent and great partners in hiring local Jersey City residents and training them for a career, and we're thankful for that, and we look forward to seeing some of them working on this job. So, Pat Kelleher.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for always your commitment to the Hudson County Building Trades. I'd like to recognize the council president, the council men and women that are here. The building trades, our importance of this project. Steve, the mayor, committed, the council people committed to Project Impact, getting women and men of minority color into the unions and stuff like that. We've over the years, the building trades give them our toolbox. We teach them how to pass the test through Project Impact. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the freeholder he couldn't make it today, Bill O'Day. He started this program 6 years ago. Over the years, we've got 200 and something men and women into programs in the different trades. We're committed to that. We have a grant from the Department of Labor, $120,000 to spend on men and women to get in. We actually have 30 women, minority women from Jersey, from Hudson County. 80% are Jersey City residents. So as many of the people here spoke about the timing and what we're at. I can speak for my local 24 small plumbing local stuff as that with the men and women. We've had minimal issues with the covert and stuff like that. We lost one member, retiree, who had some medical issues due to other stuff. But the conversation, our building guys go to work construction. We've worked in rough areas and stuff like that. And I thank and commend the mayor and the council people here for the commitment of organized labor continued. I know this project laid many years. We had a lot of remediation, and he put a great team together. Of course, many years, Chris Fury and JCRA, Diana Jeffries, Joe Bauman, all the council people, all the people from Bayfront. And I've worked with the Penrose people before through stuff in Jersey City and Hudson County. I'm happy to work with the other organization the gentleman spoke before, and we are committed to get men and women into the program. Our apprenticeship programs, hopefully we'll have a day when they start opening up again, but we will get them set up and tested and make sure we get this project going for everybody and get the men and women to work. God bless you all. Thank you.
Our last speaker, I want to invite up from Jersey City Together, Reverend Lori Worm.
Good morning. I just want to mention, as the mayor did, that the reason that all of us are standing on this remediated land this morning is because 30 years ago, community activists demanded that Honeywell clean it up. And I'm going to say, with not a little bit of pride, those community activists were people of faith. And the people of faith that I think of this morning, one of them has died. She was in her 80s when she died. She's a little bit shorter than me. She was a woman from Claremont Lafayette Church. Her name was Myrtle Smith. And she had another church lady who I'm sure was really good at bringing potato salad to church gatherings and taught Sunday school, Ellen Wright. Somebody who you would think is really mild-mannered and not going to fight anyone. And these ladies wouldn't quit. Every time it rained, they saw the water turn iridescent green when it ran down the gutters. And they demanded justice, and they held their clergy people accountable. And I personally I wish I had a t-shirt this morning that said, "Do not mess with church ladies." Because you do not mess with church ladies. Are there any church ladies here? Can I get an amen? I know. Church ladies. So this is something that happened. Everybody here this morning is here really standing on the shoulders of women, one who's passed away, grandmothers and mothers, and people whose voices were not heard for decades. I'm going to say that again. We're not heard for decades around this issue. But they refuse to give up. And it's their faith and it's their commitment to justice and care and concern about the most vulnerable among us that makes this project possible. And they're not going to be in a newspaper story, and they very rarely were, and their names are largely forgotten. But that's the history of this land, and I know it's the history of much of the work that people have been able to do to make Jersey City a more equitable and safer place for all residents. And I am incredibly proud. It makes me think about David and Goliath. And you got to put your money on David. That's all I have to say. Always put your money on David. And just know that they're all retired except for me. And I was young then, and I'm growing gray hair. 30 years ago, there were faith communities who still exist now, but whose leadership has largely turned over, who had a dream to create affordable housing for low-income people, and they saw it in cities all around the country, and they said, why not here? And for decades they were told it's impossible, it's impossible, it's impossible. As far as I'm concerned, nothing is impossible when it comes to God. And I am so grateful that our city has come to this moment. It gives me tremendous pride to be a member of Jersey City Together. And my mentor, Jeff Curtis, is at home, and he told me what to say this morning. And he's retired, but I just want you to know that those people, they're with us this morning. And I am just amazed at not only the work of human hands, but the work of God in our community. Thank you so much.
That concludes the speakers. If there's any questions, we're happy to answer them regarding the development site. Otherwise, thank you again all for coming, and thank you to our partners, and thank you to the developers that have faith, and again, thank you to the committee that was very involved in making this day come to fruition. So thank you. God bless.